Hey guys, we're sitting here in Ivy's backyard. Today we wanted to talk about the video that Ivy posted on her blog. The one that has the recollection of the Indigo child, Matias De Stefano.
Correct.
We want to talk about that because we think it's a very important video, actually. We do. We think that everybody should watch it. The bottom line is that I think a lot of us have for a long time wondered about a lot of these things and seeked out answers, and we've gotten pieces and fragments and little bits of information that is sometimes contradictory, that sometimes goes against what our heart tells us. But in this, and I personally have always been a skeptic of a lot of these things. But I think that, I know that the video that I saw, it explains the whole thing in probably the clearest and most precise and concise way that I've ever seen or heard explained, in a way that makes sense, in a way that for me resonates and sounds true, and that leaves things very clear, not only as to what happened, but what's happening right now and what's going to happen. So first of all, we really recommend that you watch this video, you listen to what this kid is saying, and spread the word, because it is important that everybody at least hear it. At least hear it. We're not trying to convince anybody of believing anything, you know. Like I said, to me it resonated, to me it sounded true, it rang true, and that's why I'm recommending it, and that's why, you know, she recommended it to me, because it's important that we hear this message. It'll help clear up a lot of questions that we've had for a long time. At least for me it did. There's still many questions, but things are a lot clearer. So
Yeah, for me, it when I watched it, it was just confirmation. It seems to me that everything that, you know, I talk about intuition day in and day out, and trusting, you know, how you feel, and, you know, my biggest problem that I guess I have for myself is I'm afraid of ego so much that sometimes I doubt myself. But watching this video, it was the best hour and 10 minutes I probably spent in my life putting things together. I too kind of see things the same way he did, and it was from a young age. And I always felt like an outsider within my own family, and it's nice to see that somebody else felt that way, or has, you know, understands that experience, because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that have similar experiences, but I haven't just had one that completely resonates with my own as this gentleman's did. And as for me, it doesn't have a lot of the Hollywood to it. There's no Hollywood to it. There's no glamour to it. It's raw data that is logical. It makes sense. It does resonate. It does do something inside you. I had chills, you know, and goosebumps the entire time watching it, and tears in my eyes at points, because I was just like, thank God that somebody actually gets it. Like, this is the first thing. I 100% agree with everything he said. I have no qualms with anything, and you guys know me. I look for a reason to complain. So that says a lot. So with that, we kind of wanted to do a response video, and try to get some interest of people that, you know, we know it's hard if you don't speak Spanish to sit and listen to something and read in English, you know, for an hour and 10 minutes, you know, what he's trying to say. But so we wanted to take time to convince you to give that video just a chance. You don't have to believe anything, but just to try it out.
yeah, and also, well, what does this have to do with what you guys are doing out in the desert with your project that you want to do? Because you might be saying, you know, well, I mean, we joked around a lot early on about the coming zombie apocalypse and the end of the world, and we made a lot of jokes. But we always knew that it wasn't the end of the world. But we have felt, and we for a long time before we met, as we each walk down our path, we have felt that some, like many of us have felt that some important changes were coming, and that we should prepare for them in whatever ways we can. That is why we have been walking towards that project that we want to embark upon, and we're actually running a little late, but
But you know what? We're not running a little late. We're doing things as we need to be. We feel it's late for us because, we're seeing that we want to be in a certain point, by a certain time. But you know what? Life's going to have us where we need to be. We need to quit stressing that.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
We totally put ourselves back in the same situation. Like, everybody knows out there things take time, and things take time to come to fruition, and we've watched it get this far. Babe, we made it here. You're here sitting next to me. We're not sending videos back and forth together to do a video.
That's true.
So.
No, yeah. But getting back to what I was trying to say is that I think that part of what we're trying to do out there is to create, it's part of what he's talking about in the video, basically, is what I'm addressing, is to create part of that environment that is going to be necessary to wean us off of this reality and start building the foundations of a new one. We're not going to solve the world. We're not going to create high silver cities that reach up to the sky. Our duty is to set the groundwork, to just allow for the environment that's going to let the minds that need to build those cities flourish and blossom and develop,
and do the work they need to do.
Yeah. And that's what we truly honestly feel we're doing out there, and that's what we hope to do out there. We want to create a place where that new world can, one seed can be born maybe there, So just really watch the video, watch it with an open mind, watch it with your heart, and if it resonates with you, then spread it around. Let more people hear this message. It's an effort. It's a collective effort of all of us. And when you see this video and you understand why it's a collective effort and which each one of us has to do, then you'll want to spread the message. You'll want to tell other people. So, and we're not drinking Kool-Aid, because I know what I sound like. I know what I sound like, believe me. And I'll be the first person to tell you that I'm skeptical.
Hey, we're the first ones to make fun of a Jonestown type situation. Regretfully, people died and, lose lives in those situations. But, we don't believe in leaders. We believe that we stand side by side and we walk forward together. No one's better, no one's worse. We all move forward together. There's no need for leadership. Look where leadership has gotten us. It's gotten us nowhere. Now our job as adults, it's our time to pave the way and believe in our kids and their kids and the generations that are going to come that have it, that are going to build our lives to be a lot better than what they are. And, something that, Lou and I discussed prior to putting the video together was, the fear mongering, the propaganda, the day in and day out of the political talks and all that, all of that is a segue. All of that is just a segue to open up your mind to think about something a little bit more. As kind of him and I discussed on the side, is it looks like there's, we have two different lines. We have a bloodline that's us and the genetic body shell temple that we live in, and we have the spirit us. So we have two stories that we have to combine and create for ourselves. And when we do that and start to open up our minds and create our worlds, we have to remember that what we create, what we think of, is what we create. And I don't want to live in a world where, the apocalypse happens and people are dying all around me and the world is falling apart and I'm watching all this death and destruction happen, and then I, see people that float up to heaven. That really doesn't sound like my idea of the right path to walk. Jesus was here, and Buddha, and, all the people that are the same type of person. You'll see in the video how it explains them, so I don't need to get into them. But if you really want to walk that walk, Think about it. You got to put yourself on that cross. You have to crucify yourself. You have to be your judge, your jury, your trial. You have to look at the raw you. You have to be able to admit the things to yourself that people lie to themselves to the day they die. And once you're able to do that, you're already in a clearer place to see what's happening around you. And the next step is, you know, we do know that at some point we are going to be experiencing this 3 days of darkness. And we have already known prior to watching this video that it's important to go, when that 3 days of darkness happens, sit with your family. Be calm. Go within yourself, because it's just like when Jesus went in the tomb to rise and ascend to heaven. Well, don't you have to rise and ascend to heaven as well? And using the terms in the Christian view, because it's all the same thing at the end of the day. Whatever you believe, we all want to be at the right hand of God, right? We all want to be in that glorious place that when we die, we are blissful spirits, correct? So if we're starting to figure out how to manifest this here on earth, well, let's do it, people.
We are going to be severely tested, all of us collectively, at the same time. So I don't think you can stress enough what she just said. You know, we need to remain calm. We cannot feed the fear. We cannot allow ourselves to believe the lies that are going to be told to us constantly, you know, about what is happening and the true nature of what is happening. Like the kid said, it's just an equinox. Relax.
Yeah.
We're going to survive, you know?
It's a new beginning.
It's just a blackout, you know? But people can do some crazy things because of what goes on in their minds and what they manifest. And, you know, a little riot turns into a big, huge chaos.
It turns into the zombie apocalypse.
And and we fulfill our own prophecy of self-destruction.
You know, people in cities need to really be mindful of that. You know, you guys live in one of the most areas where you're surrounded by people, but you all live in your own space, in your own bubble, and really don't have much regard unless you know the person in a city. And you know what, you guys? It's going to be one hell of a test. Yeah,
and it's also more difficult in the cities because you are so much more dependent, you know, on the grid and, you know, the water and the power supply and everything. So when that goes out, you know, people are going to...
It's going to be a big deal. Yeah. You know, people in the country, we're used to going without stuff, you know. We get a natural occurrence going on, a snowstorm. We might not have, you know, electricity or anything for a couple of weeks. You know, we all have generators.
Yeah. And we're going to be talking more about this because this is a subject that is something very close to us. It's something that makes us very passionate. We feel very passionately about and strongly about. And we're going to be addressing all of this in future videos as well. Particularly the equinox and the 3 days of darkness and what it means, and, you know, and this whole thing. But for now, you know, just watch the video, recommend it to anybody that will watch it if it resonates with you, and leave some comments. Tell us what you think.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, guys.
Peace.